Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and in this video we are going to talk about how to imagine the right way. So the correct premise that you need to know, that you need to occupy, that you need to come from to actually get results with your goals, with your desires, with your manifestations, and in your life. And before I start this video, I really want to make sure that you watch this till the end. I'm not saying this just to increase my watch time on YouTube. Maybe a little bit, but no, actually, I want you to watch this till the end because this is very important. And I see so many people still misinterpret this and get this the wrong way because they don't really know what imagination actually is. They don't really know how to imagine the right way, as Neville Goddard taught it in his lectures. And that is why they struggle with actually getting results, maintaining results. So what I want to share with you, first of all, is the wrong premise with which people use their imagination, and then actually the right way to get results, to make it easy for you to do what I explain in all my videos, which is shift into a new state of consciousness, which all of this is about. Because your life is just a state like manifested, like expressed and pushed out into this world. So it's just about the state that you're in. Now, let's look at this. So first of all, let's look at the wrong way, like I said before. And this is how most people approach their imagination with. And they say this, okay? They do this. They say, okay, right now, I'm going to imagine this. I do my sets, I do my visualizations, whatever it may be, right? My state into sleep. I do all of this in order to make it happen and in order to experience it in the 3D world. So what they do is they sit down, they relax, whatever, they imagine the end result, which I'm not, by now you already know this, right? And then they say, okay, awesome, I imagined that, so now when is it going to manifest? Or then they still wait around, they sit there and they wonder, did I imagine it correctly? Was this the right scene? Is it more detailed I need to bring in the scene? And they do all of this crazy shit and nothing's really changing because they don't approach their imagination the right way. They don't understand what they are actually doing when they imagine. And that is why this is so important. And when you get what I share in this video, that is why I said you should really watch this and rewatch this again and again, is that your whole view and the whole premise, again, with which you use your imagination consciously will change very dramatically, and you will actually get it. You will actually get what the point that Neville wanted to bring across. So now let's look at that's wrong, we can cross this, okay? So now let's look at the correct way, which I want to teach you, which I want you to get. And first of all, remember that consciousness is the only reality. I will in this video touch base on this again so that if you don't know what this means or if you don't get this, that you will get it. But that is, first of all, that we have to know this, we have to remember this when we use our imagination. So let's look at the right premise and then I'm going to explain this to you. The right premise would be, I'm imagining this for the sake of having this experience right now, right here, because it is real. And here comes the explanation. And then I'm also going to show you some quotes to undermine and to really bring the point across, some quotes from Neville's lectures. So what people do when they come from the first premise, right, and they say, okay, I'm going to imagine this in order to make it happen, is they sit down, they imagine, but they still think that this is like that their imagination is something outside of them, or when they see their desire in their mind's eye, in their imagination, that it's still separate from them, and they view something awesome, they saw it, and then they wait until it manifests. But that's just fundamentally wrong, because you have to understand that whatever you perceive, whatever your imagination, whatever you are aware of is existing right here, right now. There is no separation, right? Remember this, there is no, this is not separate from you. But what you're doing when you imagine in order to make it happen is you still keep the desire, the end result, the state that you want to occupy separate from you. You still think it is not here yet and then you need to wait, and only when it shows up in the 3D world, then you can occupy, then it's there, then you have this relief. But that's 100% the wrong way. When you do this, you will just keep the desire at a distance and the goal and your whatever it is that you want to shift and change in your life, but you don't occupy it. But when you understand this, which is that you just imagine something for the sake of having this experience right now, right here. Because that is what your imagination enables you to do. Through your imagination, you can literally experience whatever it is right now, right here. There is only the now. There's no past, there's no future. Whatever you're imagining is happening right now, right here. So when you do this with this premise, for example, you want to hear congratulations scene for some of your goals, right? I will also make a video soon about the right way to apply this congratulation technique, which is a very powerful method and technique. So when you imagine this and you really understand that this happens right now, you are imagining this, which means you are aware of this. It is within your consciousness. It is not in the physical focus, but it still exists. It's still happening. You still perceive it, so it must be there. It's just not tangible for your human senses, but it is true. It is real. When you're doing it with this sake, with this premise for just having this experience right now, right? To just get this congratulation, hear the words congratulating you. When you do this, you will very, very quickly feel this relief, this inner self-persuasion that, yeah, this is true, this actually happened. And when you do this, guess what happens? You really quickly move into the state of it's already done. You move into the state of accomplishment, into this relief, into this, how Neville calls it, this sabbat, this mental rest period where you know this is already true. And because you know it's true, right? You imagine something because it is already true. That is, in my opinion, the fastest way to bypass resistance, to bypass lack, to bypass doubts. Because at any given point in time, best case obviously is when you are a little bit relaxed, because then this is easier. You really you bath yourself in this imaginal experience. But you don't do it with the premise, oh, I need to imagine this very strongly so that it happens in some time. No. You are imagining it because it happens right now. And you can feel this relief. You can really feel this experience of, yeah, like this is my end. It's here right now. And with this premise, you're good to go. Like that is the game changer for me. I hope you get this. I hope this makes sense to you. Maybe rewatch this. Now I want to share some quotes by Neville with you that also explain this, why this is so important. Hey guys, it's Nicholas here. So I'm just cutting this video. And while I watch this video again, I also would like to add something, because the reason why I say to you that you should imagine with the premise of it is happening right now, right here, in order to feel this inner relief is because, remember, your life reflects back your internal world. But when you imagine to make it happen, so internally you don't feel that it's already accomplished, you still wait, you still feel it's not real and already done, then guess what your world is mirroring back to you? More waiting, more it is not here yet, more it is not done yet. But when you do it really with this premise of you are going to imagine this because it is happening right now, you are experiencing the end right now, right here, you start to really internally get into this knowing of it is done, right? You get into this relief, and then guess what? Your world is therefore mirroring back to you. So this was very important to me. I wanted to share this with you, and now let's continue with this video. So he said, first of all, nothing is impossible. And I know you've heard this a lot of times, a lot of also self-help people and stuff like that are telling this, right? Nothing is impossible and you can achieve everything. And that's very true, right? They tell this because it's very true. But let's look at the deeper meaning of this so that you actually get this understanding, that you actually get what it means that nothing is impossible. So there are two ways to interpret this statement, both which are correct. The obvious meaning is that it is possible to achieve anything you want. Okay, so that is obvious. Right? When we say nothing is impossible, we first of all think, yeah, I can achieve anything I want, which is true. Right? That needs no more explanation. But the second thing is it can also be interpreted to mean that it is impossible for nothing to exist. Right? Nothing is impossible. So it is not possible for nothing to exist. So meaning everything we are aware of or perceive in some way is something. And Neville always, when he had his lectures, he sometimes made this experiment with his students where he said, feel a tennis ball in your hand, or feel a piece of silk or a piece of any material, a baseball, whatever it is, a tennis ball in their hand, so that they felt and realized, oh wow, like I actually can imagine and have this feeling of I hold this in my hand, it is real, it does exist, it's just not in my physical focus. So it is inconceivable that something can come from nothing and that something can become nothing. It is a fact that nature abhors a vacuum and always rushes in to fill it with something. Some force or power created all that is. Creation is finished. In simple words, I want to keep it simple, I want to keep it straight to the point, is again that whatever you are aware of, whatever you can perceive with eyes open, when you close your eyes, is there. It does exist. It is within your consciousness. It is a possibility. It's just not what we call manifested, which means manifestation just means something that is tangible for our senses, for our human senses. But with your imagination, you can beyond that and experience things, see things, touch things, smell things that are not manifested yet, but they still are there. And that is a power with which you can really quickly shift into the state of the wish fulfilled. Because when you know this and you know that you are not doing this to get something, but you're imagining to actually experience the end already being there, then you get the understanding that, wait a second, imagination actually means spiritual sensation. So you just sense something that is right here in front of you, just not physically, but it is there, it is real. So this, and then you will see that the borders between physical and imagination, they will dissolve a little bit more, and then you become more imaginative again because you realize that it is real. It's just real. You just thought that imagination is some fantasy or delusion, whatever, but your imagination is very, very real. And through that, you can occupy the state that you want and experience the wish fulfilled without waiting, without thinking you imagine something and then wait. He continues and he says, that which you experience in imagination is an actual creative act. It is a fact in the fourth dimension of space and will make its appearance in this three-dimensional world as surely as planting a seed will result in the growth of a particular plant. Once you've planted the seed in your imagination, do not uproot it by being anxious about how it will be accomplished. Each seed has its own appointed time. Some seeds take a few days, others a little longer. Okay? And I mean, what should I say about this? It's just obvious. I mean, it's just super important that each imaginal act, when you imagine this, like he says, is a creative act. You actually experience something that exists, that is there. You bring life to it. You occupy it. You make this. You start to enter it more and more and more by imagining it again and again until you have the relief. And again, in the fourth dimension of space, I also made a video. It's called Thinking Fourth Dimensionally. I will link this above. Check it out. You realize it does already exist. It is already true. It is already real. You always can perceive it. You already can be aware of it. So it is there, right? But in this three-dimensional plane, how we can call it, time beats slowly and things happen in a sequel. Like this happens, and then oftentimes this happens, and then you encounter your result. So don't uproot. Don't be anxious about the how. Right? The how is never something that you can control and should control, because the how is in a very awesome way taken care of from your imagination. So you don't need to worry about it. He also says, your imagination will draw all that it needs to make your dream an actual reality. So if it takes others to play a part in order to accomplish your end, your imagination will draw that person into your drama to play his or her part in the sequence of events. Your only responsible is to remain faithful to your imaginal act until you experience it in the outer world. Again, he said, your only responsibility, right? He didn't say, oh, you need to do this and this and that. He only said your only responsibility is to remain faithful to your imaginal act, to remain faithful what you experience in your imagination. Know that this was just an actual experience. Right? It was the spiritual sensation of something that exists right here in front of you. So you don't imagine or to make it happen, you just experience that it already happened. It is already real. And then you will experience in the outside world as well. So what you do in imagination is an instantaneous creative act. However, in this three-dimensional world, events appear in a time sequence. Therefore, it may take a short interval of time to realize in the outer world what you have just experienced in imagination. After you've performed this act in your imagination, open your eyes and go about your normal, natural affairs, confident that what you've done must come to fruition in your world. So your imagination will use whatever natural means are necessary to bring it about. I'm the beginning, I'm the end. My ways are past finding out. So who's talking here? When I say I am the beginning and I am the end, that is your consciousness. That is your imagination. I am the beginning, I am the end. Right? It is infinite, it is eternal, and it is limitless. And my ways are past finding out, which means for our human, rational, A to Z thinking, we don't really know how to get there, right? There's this famous quote from Einstein that most of you will know, which is logic will bring you from A to B, but imagination will bring you everywhere. And it's very true, right? Your imagination knows which people need to play a part in your drama to get you from where you're now to where it is that you imagine yourself to be, the state that you wanted to occupy. And that's it basically, guys, for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope by now you understand the right premise to use your imagination. Again, to sum it up again, one more time, I don't care how often I repeat myself because I really just want you to get this point. So don't sit down when you do your static into sleep stuff, when you meditate, whenever it is that you relax and you imagine. Don't do this with the premise you're doing this in order to get it in some days or weeks or months. Approach your imagination with just for the sake of enjoying it, just for the sake of having this experience right here, right now. As a mentor of mine always told me that this is like when you watch a movie or when you watch a Netflix series. You don't expect something from that. You just enjoy the series to have this experience, or the movie to have this experience of this movie right now, right here. So with the same kind of mindset and premise, approach your imagination. Experience the end. Experience whatever implies that you already have your goal, that you already are in this new state that you want to occupy and identify with and express in this world. Just with the realization that this is already there, this already exists, this is already real. You sense something that right now exists because creation is finished. So you cannot perceive something that maybe then later happens. It is here right now within your awareness, within your consciousness. Experience it, bathe yourself in this experience. You will see how quickly you will move into the state of the wish fulfilled, and that is all you need to do. Then that is your job, is to move into the state of the wish fulfilled, to occupy state, and then everything happens for you, not to you. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope I brought this understanding and I brought the point across correctly to you. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me a comment, shoot me a message on Instagram. Also, I have a free masterclass. I have a coaching program. If you're interested in that, check out the links in the description of this video. Thank you super much for watching, guys. I love all your comments. I love your feedback. I love your support. We reached 2,000 subscribers. It's awesome. It's amazing. I will keep going so that we have amazing teachings of Neville out there with clear, direct to the point, straight to the point understanding so that you can start to apply them and get results. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Speak to you in the next video. Bye, guys.